Hey everyone, it's Carol here, one of your TAs for English 110. Welcome to this guide about how to use the MLA International Database to find resources for your research papers. This guide should be a way for you to get started with your research for your paper in this class, but also a gateway, I hope, for other databases related to your own discipline. Each subject usually has a specific database that will help you find articles and book chapters related to your area, so this guide will most likely be a useful tool for any other courses that you're taking or will take later on. Many of us like to use Google on a daily basis to find answers to many of the questions we have about basically anything. And as a search engine, Google does do a great job of providing simple, straightforward answers to such questions. So I'm not saying that it doesn't have its merit, so it has a purpose that is very much focused. However, as we move into critical thinking and scholarly research, a lot of the results that we get on Google start to become less relevant for the purposes of writing a paper. So I'm just going to show you guys what happens when we just use Google in order to find out what people have been saying about Nella Larsen and passing. So if I were to just say like Nella Larsen passing on Google, you'll see that we are flooded with a lot of information, and much of it is indeed useful for things such as getting some context about the novel. So here's the Wikipedia page for this, or blogs that talk about some of its themes, and reviews from other readers who have also read the novel and who can comment on what they thought about it. But as you can see, not everything here is a scholarly source. So meaning that not everything here is something that has been peer-reviewed or reviewed by specialists in the area of American literature. So some of these may not be the best things that you may want to use for your paper. And even if you go to Google Scholar, so let's go to scholar.google.com and do the same kind of search. Nella Larsen passing. So even when we go on Google Scholar, we still find some results that may not be what we're looking for. So in the case of this search, we see things like other books written by Nella Larsen, including passing, and sometimes we also see articles, and if we try to access them through Google Scholar, what ends up happening is that you only get a preview of what the article actually is. So you usually get one page, you get 2 pages, sometimes the thumbnails and references, but most often what's going to happen is they're going to show you part of the article and then ask you to subscribe. And one thing to keep in mind is that the library has access to these databases. So JSTOR is one of the databases that we do have access for free as students. And I just want to show you guys how to access such things using the library's website and finding other resources that are more reliable via the library's website. So we're going to go to library.ubc.ca, and here's the home page for our library. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on indexes and databases, and we're going to search for MLA, because this is the central organization with which humanities scholars work. So let's click on search, and the very first entry that you're going to see here in the results should be the MLA International Bibliography database. So we're going to click on it, And as you enter this page, you're going to see another set of boxes that you can use for your search terms, and some parameters as well, such as the and or parameters. So you can enter here the title of the novel or the name of the author, and what the and parameter does here is it selects articles that contain both terms that you search for in boxes number 1 and 2, and it filters out any other articles that may not be relevant to the topic that you're searching for. And as you scroll down, you're going to see a bunch of other parameters, and I just want to bring your attention to this one parameter that we usually use that is called the scholarly peer-reviewed journals. So we usually want to have this checked off because we want to filter for things that are peer-reviewed. Now, what does that mean, peer-reviewed? Peer-reviewed means that the work that you're going to be looking at, the article or book chapter that you're looking at, has gone through a double-blinded revision process, most likely. Meaning that whoever wrote this article does not know whoever reviewed it. And whoever reviews the article does not know the person who wrote it, so that there's less of a chance for biases to get in the way of fact-checking or to get in the way of revisions for this work. And as you can see, there are different types of publications here. There are things like websites and translations, dissertations, book chapters, and articles. And not all of these do undergo this process of peer review. Some of them are peer reviewed, but are not double-blinded, for example. So we want to have this scholarly journal peer reviewed box checked off. You can also play around with the publication dates for things, but for the purposes of this search, we're just going to enter Nella Larson and passing here. And we're going to search for it. And we're going to see a bunch of results. And one thing to keep in mind as well is the order of the results that we're getting. So, as it says here, we are getting publications that range from the year 1989 to 2018, so the past 30 years or so, and MLA will sort them out from the newest or the latest, the most recent one, to the oldest article. And one of the reasons why the database does this sorting, is because scholars often want to look at recent publications about a certain work. And by recent, we usually mean within the past 10 years. And we do this because culture changes and societies change and new theories are created, and we want to always keep ourselves updated on what's been said and what is being said about this work. So as we go down and we look at different entries, we see things that have been published in 2018, last year, 2017, and so on. And for the purposes of our exercises, we want to make sure that we're looking at things that have been published between 2008 and 2018, so within the past 10 years. You can, of course, play with the little parameter here so that you don't have to look at all the results, but as it gives it to you, as the database sorts it for you, sorts your results for you, I feel like this is not necessary, especially for the amount of things that we have here, so not that much. But depending on what kind of research you do, you may have more results, meaning that you may have to play around with other things like entering another keyword or perhaps limiting your publication dates and so on, right? And some of these will have direct links to the PDF, so you can just click on here and you can access the PDF directly from this database like the case of this, where you can just download things as a PDF. I usually recommend people to download things as PDFs so that they can highlight it, so they can add comments to them using Adobe, or perhaps print them out if you want, whatever suits you, right? And in some cases, however, you're gonna see things like check UBC e-link for full text, in which case we're gonna have to click on it, and this may redirect us. So we do have this article. It may redirect us to another database, in this case the eDuke Journal Scholarly Collection. So if we go here and click on full journal, we will get the entire article, and we can also download it as a PDF here, just like the other one. However, and this is where it gets tricky, if we go back to the search, we may encounter things like this one, Color and Line, Scandinavian, Post-Impressionism, and the Figure of Passing in Nella Larsen. So if we check the UBC e-link for the full text, it may say that we don't have this item available online, and it kind of like asks us to go to the catalog and look for it again. So in that case, what we're going to do is we are going to copy it, and we're going to go to the main page of the library again, and then here under general search, we're going to use double quotation marks and enter the title, meaning that we want the system to look for this title and look for these words in the specific order. So we're going to search for it, and voila, we do have it. And we're going to click on full text, and here we go. We are redirected to yet another database called Project Muse, and we can likewise download the PDF from here and do whatever we want with it. And there are also other cases where it can get more complicated. So in the case of like this particular article called Hazardous Business, Nella Larsen's Passing and Risk Racialization, we're going to check the UBC link for it, and again, it's going to tell us not available online. Ooh, what do we do? We're going to try again, and we're going to copy the title, if it allows us to do that, and go to the library home, and again use double quotation marks to search for this title. And in this case, it says journal article citation online. And even if we click here, it's mainly going to give us some information. It's going to say try UBC link again. We may try again, and it's going to, get us back to that other page. What happens here is you may have to search for the actual journal and see if we have access to it. So I'm going to try to copy this instead, and then go to the library's homepage. And then, so we're going to click on journal titles here. So that's another tab close to the indexes and databases tab that we used before. And we're going to enter the name of the journal, or the title of the journal, I mean. And as we can see here, we do have access to it, and we do have access to it via two different databases, but both of these databases only contain articles or issues that have been published from 2018 to now. Otherwise, we have it in print form, so UBC Print Holdings. So if we click here, it will tell us that we have volumes 1, so published in 63, all the way to 55, up to 2017, at Kerner Library on the first floor, so the basement. And in the case of this article, this was published in 2016. So therefore, if we wanted to have access to this particular article, say if it's closely connected to whatever we're searching for, and we really want to read this article, we want to get access to it, what we can do is see which volume it's a part of, and which issue and the page range for it, and then we can go to Kerner Library, go down to the PRE 58 shelf, and try to find volume 54, which we should have. And from there, you can do things like photocopy the article, you can scan the article as well. Librarians usually are going to help you with figuring out how to do that. Sometimes you can even check the volume out. I hope this guide has been useful for you guys, and should you have any questions, please come and talk to us. We'll be more than happy to give you some suggestions or to answer any questions that you have about these databases. Also, make use of the librarians that are there to help you in Kerner and in IKB, or whatever discipline you're working with. And we'll see you next class. Thank you.